Draximus, Galathor, Mecha-Kaiser, and Stegonox. Together they make Kaiju Crush! You'll control one of these monsters to crush the city and let everyone know who is king of Tokyo. Wrong game. That was close. Whew. Instead, this game will use a move mechanism very much like Onitama. On their turn, the active player will use either the shared movement card or his own. If using his own, he'll exchange it with the shared one. When landing on a city tile, he'll crush it, take it, and mark the territory. Thankfully, the game doesn't have giant dogs, or something rather different would be used to mark their territory, if you know what I mean. Huh? Yeah, I'm talking about urine. Moving on, if a kaiju, which by the way means giant beast in Japanese, I probably should have mentioned that somewhere at the beginning of the review, if it lands on a terry that has an opposing kaiju, well...
let's get ready to rumble!
The battling players will draw 5 cards from the top of their territory marker deck and choose a card to play face down. They'll reveal it simultaneously and boom! A spruced up version of rock, paper, scissors has commenced. This diagram details which kaiju moves beats what, and keep in mind your monster has a special affinity to one of these. The player to win 3 rounds out of 5 will win 1 random combat victory token, which I think is supposed to represent knocked out teeth? What? Anyways, eventually the game will end when all players have passed on their movement. Passing will occur when the kaiju cannot move because it must follow certain rules. It must end its move on an unclaimed city card or another kaiju. If it can't, it'll remain on its space to hear the lamentations of humanity it so gleefully caused. Kind of like that scene in Man of Steel where Superman pauses to kiss Lois.
Oh my god, my legs! My legs are crushed under this rubble! Superman! Superman, where are you? I know you're out there. Oh my god, I think I can survive if you just come. Superman? Hello?
The writers did know that he has superhuman hearing and that there's probably tens of thousands of civilians who need help, right? When both players pass, the game ends. City tiles will earn points as listed here. Objective cards laid out at the beginning of the game will have players who completed them score points. And then you score combat victory tokens, which will have its VPs listed here. Player with the most points wins. Okay, so Kaiju Crush has this great theme that I love, but I just found it wasn't really implemented all that well. I mean, there's this very tactical aspect in moving, getting the right type of city tile for the objective card, commercial, community, power, or transportation, and you plan all this stuff, and then you get into this battle which is totally random and is a rock, paper, scissor contest? It's like the game doesn't know if it's supposed to be tactical with strategy or just random fun. In any case, I was expecting to feel the power of Pacific Rim. Instead, I got Jurassic Slim. Sure, there's this one cool ability you can use each game and then it's done. I mean, I've seen one-trick ponies have more tricks. You'll move or pass and then do rock, paper, scissors. Tiny little monsters too, look. I mean, I don't want to crush Kaiju Crush. I guess I just did, didn't I? But I feel like the theme and mechanics didn't gel all that well. Especially the tactical part on one phase and the total randomness on the other. Both as such extremes to each other. I'm sure people will like this one, and to be fair, it's a cheap game with good components, so you might get some plays out of it, but for us, after a couple of playthroughs, it died like that guy asking for help while Superman was making out with Lois. Neither did Kaiju Crush for the cut. It gets a 5 out of 10.